Every warrior walks a different path. Samurai, the path of discipline. Ronin, the path of independence. Ninja, the path of strategy. Zen monk, the path of wisdom. Shogun, the path of power. But today, we explore the path of the less desire, more peace. You consume everything, yet you remain entirely hollow. You chase the next promotion, the next purchase, the next external validation, believing that addition will finally quiet the noise inside your chest. You live in a constant fever of appetite, restless, irritable, and easily broken whenever the world refuses to bend to your demands. You mistake appetite for ambition and chaos for living. Here is the diagnosis you refuse to acknowledge. You are a prisoner to your own attachments. Every object you crave, every opinion you obsess over, and every outcome you demand becomes a heavy chain wrapped around your throat. You believe peace is something you acquire after gaining everything you want. In truth, your endless wanting is the very weapon destroying your peace. In the austere, mist-shrouded Zen monasteries of feudal Japan, monks lived alongside the samurai caste under the constant shadow of violent death and political chaos. They knew that a mind tethered to outcome, wealth, or even personal survival was a mind that would freeze in the heat of battle. To forge an unshakable spirit, they developed the protocol of Mushotoku detachment, anchored by the mechanical practice of Mushotoku. Consider the modern person, specifically the fragile pleaser. He shapes his entire identity around the approval of others. He cannot say no. He yields his boundaries, buries his authentic voice, and accepts disrespect simply to avoid conflict. He desires acceptance so desperately that he becomes a ghost in his own life, terrified of losing relationships that are actively draining his soul. His need for safety makes him entirely weak. The Zen masters saw this desperate clinging as the ultimate source of human weakness. Historical accounts record that within monasteries like Eihaiji and Kamakura's Engakuji, monks stripped away every unnecessary possession and mental preference. They wore coarse, undyed robes, slept on narrow tatami mats, and ate simple meals of rice and radish. This was not self-punishment. It was a deliberate tactical stripping of vulnerability. At the mechanical core of this ecosystem was Mushotoku, the practice of acting without seeking gain, reward, or emotional outcome. Picture a Zen monk sitting on a cold wooden veranda as a freezing dawn breaks over the mountain ridge. The crisp, pine-scented air bites at his bare skin. The rhythmic, dull thud of a wooden temple block echoes through the silent hall. His legs ache from hours of static posture. His mind attempts to summon memories of warmth, comfort, and recognition. Yet he executes Mushotoku. He observes the rising craving without reaching for it, letting the desire pass through his consciousness like smoke through an open window. He does not fight the sensation, he simply refuses to attach his identity to it. It is recorded in Zen historical texts that samurai warriors sought out these monks before going to war. Recognizing that a warrior operating with Mushotoku, with nothing to gain, nothing to protect, and no fear of loss, was an unstoppable, terrifying force on the battlefield. While popular legend often depicts Zen monks as mystical figures floating above human emotion, documented historical records confirm their discipline was a rigorous, practical, psychological tool designed for absolute mental clarity during crisis. Strip away the romantic folklore, and the core mechanism of Mushotoku stands exposed. It is the total liberation from the prison of expectation. Modern society has engineered you to be needy, fragile, and easily controlled. It teaches you that you are incomplete without more status, more comfort, and more approval. You fail because you give your power away to things you cannot control. You attach your peace of mind to whether people like you, whether plans succeed, or whether comfort remains unbroken. You believe that dropping your desires means giving up on life. The hard warrior truth is the exact opposite. True strength is not holding on tightly, but having the courage to open your hand and let go. Drop the attachment. Examine your current life. Every boundary you fail to enforce, every toxic scenario you tolerate, and every bad habit you indulge stems directly from your fear of losing something comfortable. You are terrified of the emptiness that comes when you stop chasing external validation. But that very emptiness is where your power resides. Stop begging the world for peace. Stop bargaining with your boundaries. Cut the mental cords binding you to outcomes you do not own. Cut the cords. The path of Zen detachment is not a withdrawal into weakness. It is the ultimate armor of the mind. When you desire nothing from the world loses all leverage over you. You become unbendable, unbribable, and entirely free. Relinquish your need for approval, embrace the stillness of having nothing to prove, and step into absolute sovereignty. Detach and conquer. Every warrior walks a different path. Samurai, the path of discipline. Ronin, the path of independence. Ninja, the path of strategy. Zen monk, the path of wisdom. Shogun, the path of power. Which one are you? Comment below.